Hello, good night to Conversation with Rickford Burke. Good night, everybody. Share the link. Share the link. Sorry, I'm a bit late. Share the link. We had a little bit of technical difficulty, but we're ready to go. Share the link, everyone. I hope you're having a very good night, a very good morning, very good evening, wherever you are. Big up to all the people here in New York City. It's raining cats and dogs. We have a storm. I hope you guys are all sheltered. No one is driving right now. Share the link, everybody. Wow, I spilled my little ginger tea. Um, so share the link. Keep sharing the link, everybody. Keep sharing the link. Tonight is going to be a big show. We continue the series of exposing Bharrat Jagdeo and the Guyana Police Force lies. And uh, so we want you to share the link to everybody. Let's expose these liars. Let us expose these lies. So get into all your Guyanese groups, whether it's on Facebook Messenger groups, get on Twitter, get on YouTube, get on IG, get on your WhatsApp messages, and share this link. Get on your email, wherever you are, take the link, share it in your MSN message, just share it to everybody. Um, Also, let me, my technical guy is going to kill me. Let me ask all of you, those of you who are watching who've not subscribed to my YouTube page or are not following me on Facebook or have liked my pages. We're broadcasting across 5 pages right now. Get on all of those pages, like and follow us. Also get on YouTube and subscribe so you'll get notifications when we're live. Share the link, everybody. Share the link, everyone. Tonight I'm gonna play an interview which was made available to us by confidential sources in the Guyana Police Force, um, so that we can expose the lies of the Guyana Police Force. And I'm going to take a break. And when I come back, I'm going to talk about that, give you an intro, and then we're going to play that tape. I know they're sitting by the leadership of the Guyana Police Force, the crooked police commissioner, and the other corrupt leadership in the Guyana Police Force. I know they're sitting by their phones taking notes and recording, like how they recorded Chavez Chase is sitting. They are so unsophisticated. They're sitting with a camera like this in front of the taping, right? You don't have to tape it. You could just go back and look at it because it's going to be there. We don't do anything in secret here at CGID. Keep sharing the link, everybody. Keep sharing the link there, everyone. I'm going to take a break, and when I come back, let everybody know we'll see in real time in real time how the Guyana Police Force has been lying to the country, in real time how Bharrat Jagdeo has been lying to the country, in real time, in real time. All right, share the link, everybody. Call up all your friends and relatives. Tell them to tune into Conversation with Rick Burke. We'll be back with this blockbuster interview that proves that the Guyana Police Force, Bharrat Jagdeo, have been lying to you. I'll be back in 60 seconds. All right, everyone, keep sharing the link. Keep sharing the link. Let me see some of your comments here before I start. Good night, Miss Henry. Good night, Annette Cummings. Good night, Denise Haley. Good night, Fiona Henry. Who, me? Yo, who, me? Who, me says it should be a nightly broadcast. Okay, I'll take it on the advisement. Margaret George, good night. Samuel Williams, good night. Where are you guys watching from? Cheryl Pacham, good night. Watching from New Jersey, Barbara Joyce, good night. Watching from Guyana, Carl. Keep sharing the link, everybody. Share the link, share the link. Call up everyone, let them know we're about to see the interviews and the Guyana Police Force conducted. And let me tell you this. I want to thank the men and women of the ordinary men and women, some officers, some ranks of the Guyana Police Force, who understand that their leadership have no integrity, no credibility. They behave in criminal conduct and they don't condone it, and they send us information every day. Every day they send us information. The amount of information that we have received from police officers, from senior police officers to regular rank and file, I want to thank you guys. We in the diaspora appreciate it. We understand that you guys don't condone the lawlessness between the government and the leadership of the Guyana Police Force. We understand that that's why the PPP government placed some of these people in very strategic positions, especially some of the black ones, because they know the Guyana Police Force posture right now under the PPP, and has always been under the PPP, is to persecute black people whenever they go into power. And now they can't do it directly, so they're using the Guyana Police Force to do it. And the senior leadership of the Guyana Police Force are following political instructions to carry out political vendetta on behalf of the Guyana police, on behalf of the PP government, racists in the PP government, to the ordinary black people, ordinary Afro-Guyanese, ordinary East Indians who don't support the PPP, and Amerindians who don't support the PPP. The Guyana Police Force is your enemy. Not the Guyana Police Force, not everyone in the Guyana Police Force. The leadership of the Guyana Police Force is your enemy. They're enemies of the people. They are there only to police Afro-Guyanese, East Indians and Amerindians who don't support the PPP. They condone all sorts of lawlessness. All sorts of lawlessness. You see it every day. I don't have to tell you. I don't have to regurgitate it. I don't have to tell you. Our country is in crisis. We have a Guyana police force, a leadership of the Guyana police force that is the most dishonest, lacking in credibility, lacking in integrity, image in tatters, the worst in the Caribbean. Keep sharing the link, everybody. The worst in the Caribbean. And I want to encourage people to start speaking out. Many of us in the diaspora speak out. Many of us in the diaspora speak out. And because that, they want to target us. They think they could sit in Guyana and frame us in the diaspora. I want you to wrap your minds around that. I'm in the diaspora. I am in New York. And people in the Guyana police force think that they could stay in Guyana and charge us for crimes, which what they call crimes in Guyana that we allegedly commit in New York. I have to keep repeating that. That's not possible in law. In no jurisprudence in the world. It is not possible. I know they're going to say, well, in the United States, they do that and do that. That's because the people in the United States go after commit real crimes. Commit real crimes. And even the great mighty United States can't fly into a country or don't fly into a country. And they don't because they can't fly into a country and pick somebody up. They operate based on arrangements and treaties. The Guyana police force thinks that they have the power, because Bharrat Jagdeo gave it to them, to go to any country in the world and harass people, pick up people, attempt to serve them with summons, whatever it is. And they're threatening to do it at political direction. They said they'll do it to anybody. They will stop when somebody uses their First Amendment right. Against them for trespassing, harassing. Someone just sent me a message. Let me read some messages. Someone sent me a message. I want to read it. I saw it earlier. I'm looking for it. Oh, okay. It came on. I saw it splash across here. It came on. It came in Messenger. So the question is, Rickford, if the Guyana police force sends an armed, they don't even have to be armed, anybody, as far as I'm concerned, but let me read the question. An armed Guyana police officer to my house, do I have a right to shoot him or her if they trespass on my property and the law allows? These lights are hot. Do you have a right to shoot somebody who is trespassing on your property and you feel that your life is in danger? Follow your state law. If you don't know, like, I don't know what state this person lives in, so I can't answer the question. But if you don't know, call your local precinct, call up the DA's office, call up the FBI hotline, and get that information because you ought to protect yourself. You ought to protect yourself. So I'm seeing some people answering already. But I know what the law is in New York. If and there's some, every state has different law. So most of the states, the laws are uniform and they have variation. There's some nuances. But in some certain states, Georgia, Florida, and states like that, they have stand your ground law where you can defend yourself even in the street. You have a right to what they call stand your ground. And you have a right to defend your home, yourself. If you feel that your life is in danger, you have a right to take any necessary means to protect yourself. So if one comes to your house armed, trespassing, that's a criminal, a crime right there. If they're trespassing and armed, that's an aggravated circumstance that makes the crime more severe, that makes the threat more severe. So then you have a right to defend yourself. And like I said, the extent to which you can use force or deadly force to defend yourself is going to be set out in state law. So you consult your state officials and they'll answer the question. Keep sharing the link, everybody. Now, I want to put this in context. Remember, this whole issue where the government is trying to frame me and think they could get away with it started with a number of people, and everybody knows this by now, complaining about BM suit. And I'm seeing a plethora of complaints right now against these racist East Indians from the PPP that own BM suit. And the police is not doing anything about it. It shows you who's running the country, right? The rich East Indians in the PPP. I make bold to say it. We live in America. We're not scared to talk about race. And nobody in Guyana should be scared to talk about racism. This is an elite group of East Indians in the PPP who influence and pay off the police and bribe government officials and fund the PPP who think they're above the law. Right? And they're perfectly fine, loyal, law-abiding, patriotic, loving East Indians who don't subscribe to this nonsense. And they speak out against it, like my sister from Bartica, who all the time I see speak out against injustice and racism. Ganesh, the mayor, former mayor of Georgetown, a lot of people speak out. Forgive me if I didn't call your name. We're not talking about those people. Those are our brothers and sisters. We're talking about the innate racists in the PPP. Share the link, everybody, because we're going to expose them tonight. We're going to expose them tonight. So BM Suit has been robbing people, seizing their cars wrongfully, engaging in what that's called predatory practices. Predatory. That's why you have consumer protection agencies for criminals like the people that own BM Suit. And tonight, I want to tell everybody in Guyana, find other car dealerships. There should be a countrywide boycott of BM Suit. Countrywide. They prey on poor people. They abuse people. They use the police to target people. Obviously, they bribe the police. Obviously, they bribe the police. And I'm not attacking all police officers. It is the leadership. If the leadership is not getting bribed themselves, they condone it. I was talking to a law enforcement official over here. And the person's not even Guyanese. Guyanese know this all the time, and they say. But this is a Caucasian gentleman who said to me, oh, we heard that the Guyana police force is very corrupt. I said, you heard correct. Guyana police force is very corrupt. Very corrupt. This is a senior law enforcement official in an agency in the US. So one of the things that we have to do coming out of this is target the Guyana police force leadership for misconduct. We have to expose them to the world. We have to call on the US government to stop cooperating with them, stop giving them resources. You know what? We're about to have another conference in Washington. This time it's going to be a different kind of conference. It's going to be about the Guyana police force and what they're doing to U.S. citizens. Well, the gentleman I saw yesterday was a Canadian citizen. But there's several U.S. citizens who've complained to us and their elected officials about BM SWAT. And the police have done nothing. Nothing. One of the reasons why CGID took action in this case with Doran Bess is because he sent us information that he made several reports to the police that BM SWAT owes him, defrauded him $170 million. $170 million. You would believe that the Guyana police force would take action? No. PPP, East Indian superiority. Supremacy of the PPP cabal. Their East Indian cabal that think it's their function to prey and be predators on poor people, poor blacks, poor East Indians, poor Amerindians. That's why everybody in the society must now come together and take them on, run them out of business, bankrupt them, stop buying their vehicles, stop giving them business. They're racist, they're crooks, they're criminals. And I'll prove later on tonight by playing another tape that shows that they're criminals. And by the way, I understand, I got information from police sources that the same Officer Sarabo that came to New York, that the police claim attempted to give me something, he is in cahoots with the owners of BM SWAT. But we'll come back to that. We're not going to get distracted. Now, let me share with you a letter from Mr. Best's attorneys. We're all going to read this letter together. Let me make sure I have it lined up properly here. Okay, good. All right. So here we go. So here is this letter from Mr. Anderson. This is the attorney for Mr. Best. And it says August 29, 2022 to Afraz Mohammed BM SWAT. Dear sir, pre-action, please stop it. Pre-action protocol letter. With respect, I refer to the subject caption. I act on behalf of United States Trust of the United States Trust name Intella Visions Investors Trust LLC. The Guyanese agent Doran Bess and trustees have instructed me as follows: that on the 5th of April 2022, they sent by way of shipment the sum of $170 million in low sulfur D2 diesel to you. The specific instruction was that you ought not to offload the fuel from the vessel without their consent. It is now clear that on the 13th of April, 2022, you violated that agreement by bleeding the MV Nelly 2 of all her cargo, which is the diesel fuel, when she was moored at the Friendship East Bank Demerara Wharf. That subsequently, you submitted a false invoice to the Guyana Revenue Authority, in which, among other things, you falsely and fraudulently reduced the cost of the fuel from Guyana $200 per liter to Guyana $116 per liter. That subsequently, you caused the Guyana Energy Authority to mark the said fuel and issue permission to import the fuel contained in MV Nelly 2 upon submission of the false invoice. With an eye to an amicable resolution of this matter, my client demands as follows: the immediate payment within 48 hours of this letter by manager's check to Doreen Bess, the sum of Guyana $118 million, less the payment of $25 million paid on this account by Fazal Mohammed in May 2022. In the circumstances, this matter will be resolved with the payment of $145 million by manager's check, the immediate release of Motor Jeep PXX 47 to Mr. Bess by no later than close of business on August 30th. That's one part of the letter, one page of the letter rather. Let me go to the next page. My client, being a U.S. cooperated entity, will be obligated to report the fraudulent transaction herein to the relevant U.S. authorities, which will trigger an international investigation. The consequences of the same are unlike anything you can imagine. My client is determined to maintain its unsullied international reputation. My client will charge you both in the United States and Guyanese courts for diverse criminal offenses. Your prosecution in the United States will require an international warrant for your arrest. Your extradition to the United States, and of course, Interpol may be involved. Your criminal prosecution in Guyana may be private, and the possibility of U.S. charges being discontinued by the Guyana DPP are imaginary. That lie don't play. In Guyana and the US, both the company and its officers will be charged, including all co-conspirators and other persons involved in this matter. I have attached a copy of the relevant fraudulent invoices submitted to GRA and GA for your ease of reference. We are obligated to act in accordance with Foreign Corrupt Practices Act. Please note, my client is not interested in extensive conversations, but swift action. There's no question that this man defrauded Doreen Bess. This is a big, big criminal matter. Not on behalf of anybody. Big crime that BM Soot committed. BM Soot fraudulently, keep sharing the link, fraudulently went and offloaded the man's fuel in his absence. That's theft. That's theft. Two, they deduct the original invoice and under invoiced the fuel so that they can pay less taxes to GRA. Then they took the same fraudulent invoices to the Guyana Energy Authority to get permission officially to import the fuel. And again, they fraud. Look how many crimes they committed there. And then they refused to pay the man. But you know what? Doreen Bess is black. And BM Soot are East Indian friends of Bharrat Jagdeo and senior police leadership. So he think that he could get away with it. Several reports were made: theft of fuel, fraudulently changing the invoice so as not to pay taxes. Guyana Police Force did nothing. So after Mr. Best saw on social media CGID condemning BM Soot for their fraudulent activities, defrauding ordinary Black people mostly, he complained to CGID and sent us his documents. And we demanded that they address it. We're an advocacy organization. I'm an advocate. We demanded that they address it. They called me. They put James Bond to call me. And James is like, man, can you help them out? Could you take down the posts? I said, no. What you should do is ensure that they address these poor people that they're abusing. And he called me and committed himself to doing that. He even asked me to add to the post that he's going to address all these matters. If you have issues with BM Soot, call him. And I did that. In the meantime, another entity, GNN, which sometimes published my op-eds and my articles, carried a story about the same thing. The government is trying to tie the two together. And because they published my articles, they told some of the guys to say, I own it. It doesn't even matter if I own it. This is America. When I examined the GNN, it says where the company is registered and all that. And under the United States laws, anybody could publish anything so long as they don't libel anybody. And if they libel you or slander you, there are civil laws that you can pursue. But you know what? BM Soot called two reporters, and the way I know this is because of the interviews, which you will see. BM Soot called two reporters. They claim that well, I heard they're reporters. I don't really know who they are. And asked them to go and pull down, hack into GNN and take down the story on BM Soot, because according to the interview that the police conducted here, it's damaging their reputation. And they offered them to pay them monies to do this. Apparently they couldn't do it. And they said that those men extorted the money and they linked them to me. Magic, yeah, let's link Rickford to this. How much money they pay the guys? $150,000 based on what the report in the press said, which is $700 US. The watch I'm wearing right now is $10,000 US. It's a Movado watch, $10,000 US. $150,000 Guyana dollars is $700 US. The Guyana government said Rickford Burke conspired. They're trying they're trying hard to get me, right? Let me tie you to this thing. So the police and then Bharrat Jagdeo and them got together and conspired a criminal conspiracy and say, let me link Rickford Burke to this so we could get him. This $700 US. $700 US. That's what this whole government of Guyana is spending all this money at to get Rickford Burke, because he allegedly tried to extort $700 from BM Soot. They ain't got no shame, you know. Completely false. Based on what I am hearing from the reporters, and you will hear in 60 seconds, BM suit again called them to commit a crime, espionage in the against the United States, break into an American company and take down their content from their website. That's what the Chinese do, and they get charged with espionage. But the Guyana police, and listen, they're so stupid. They sent their security surveillance in their office, the tape to the police. And you know what? The police try to keep it secret. But Guyana police force officers leaked it to us. So we have a video with them sitting down there trying to hack into this American company. They claim I own it. But after the men couldn't do it, they call it extortion and try to link me to it. Not one person in these interviews, I will show you a series of them, said anything about me. In one of the interviews, the police officer interviewing the two men asked these guys, this money that this man was supposed to pay you, was Doran Best supposed to get any? He said no. The guy offered the money to pay us. And listen, BM Suit really got balls. The effrontery. They told the guys, we will pay you now to go on their website and put up nice stories about us, BM Suit, that we're a very nice charitable company. So not only do they want to destroy this American company's website, GNN, they want to take it over to put up nice stories about BM Suit. Listen to the interview. And at the back end of the interview, it's about 40 minutes, I'll come back and conclude.
My name is Kevin Brown, Detective Constable 2455, stationed at the Criminal Investigation Department, Police Headquarters in Leary, and attached to the Major Crime Investigation Unit. Today is the 23rd of September 2022, and the time now is 19:57 hours. I'm currently in the Criminal Investigation Department Video and Audio Interview Room, and I intend to conduct a video and audio with one Alex Wade in relation to alleged use in a computer system to humiliate a person, and also an alleged extortion committed on Afraz Mohammed between the 29th of August 2022 and the 23rd of September 2022. My Skype for this interview will be Detective Constable 24285 Gison, and the rank will be operating the video equipment will be 22567 Richmond. I will now have both ranks introduce themselves to the camera, starting with Constable Richmond.
Good night, my name is Michael Richmond, Detective Constable stationed at the Criminal Investigation Department, attached to the crime lab. I'm the one operating this device.
Good evening. I'm Christopher Soon, Detective Constable 24285, stationed at the Criminal Investigation Department Headquarters, Leary, and attached to the Major Crime Investigations Unit. For this interview, I'll be described.
Thank you, Constable Kissing and Constable Richmond. I now have the subject Alex Wade be escorted into the interview room. Yeah, the top is here. So just sit right. Good night, sir.
Good night, sir.
Before we go any further, I must introduce myself to you. I am Detective Constable Brown, stationed at the Criminal Investigation Department, Police Headquarters in Leary, and attached to the Crime Investigation Unit. Over to my left here is Constable Kislin, and he'll be describing this interview. From time to time, you see him be making notes. You don't be distracted by that.
Okay.
That's it. So if you have any clarification question you would like to ask during or after this interview, you may be able to do so.
Yes, sir.
To my extreme right here is Constable Richmond. He'll be the rank operating the video equipment.
Yes, sir.
I must tell you that this interview will be video and audio recorded. As you can see, by the camera there, right?
Yes.
You see the camera there?
Yes.
Yes. Alright. The reason for this interview being video and audio recorded is to protect both you and I. Then they cannot say something you did not likewise.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes, sir.
If at any time during this interview you would like to use the washroom, have anything to eat or drink, just indicate same to me,
Yeah.
and I will facilitate same.
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir? During this interview, it's important for you to keep your voice up.
Yes,
The
sir.
reason being, there's a seawall right here, and people be traversing back and forth. Sometimes they be making noise with their arms or also playing loud music, so it makes it sometimes difficult to hear. So it's important for you to keep your voice up.
Yes,
Okay,
sir. Yes, sir.
Before we go any further, may I ask you what's your name?
My name is Alex Wayne, sir.
Alex Wade.
Yes, sir.
How old are you, sir?
I'm 49 years old, sir.
Have any call name?
No, sir.
Do you know why you're here today, sir?
Yes, sir.
Why?
Well, I was arrested for trying to extract monies from Mr. Afras Mohammed in the company of Gary Eliezer, former reporter of Kaiser News, and also a close confidant of Mr. Durham. Yes.
Well, the police must tell you why you're here, right?
Yeah.
Yes, the police are investigating an alleged using a computer system to humiliate a person and also an alleged extortion committed on Afras Mohammed, which occurred between the 29th of August 2022 and the 23rd of September 2022.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
There's an allegation leveled against you at this time, and we'll read same to you thereafter, and we'll caution you will have a chance to respond.
That's
Okay,
nice.
sir?
Yes.
The allegation leveled against you that it is alleged, right?
Yes.
That you between the 29th of August and the 23rd of September 2022 attempted to extort the sum of $90 million from Asaf Mohammed. And on the 23rd of September 2022, you received the sum of $55,000 from Asad Mohammed by purporting to the said Asad Mohammed that you would not release any information you have of him to cause it any emotional distress. You're not obliged to say anything unless you wish to do so, but whatever you say may be put into writing and given in evidence.
Yes.
What do you have to say about this?
Yes, sir. So first, I would like to refute those allegations, and my reason for doing so. I can't remember the exact date in August when I was called by Mr. Darwin S.
Whilst in police custody, did anybody threaten you, made use of any violence or promise you anything while you're in custody?
Like today?
Like today, say if you said this will be released, if you said do this, you know.
To be honest with you, I made a call to pick up my daughter who's now running on Regent Street opposite Lucky Dollar. She's there by the stand. And I made that call to a woman who I think she knows Mr. Darwin's lawyer. And then I asked the gentleman over there for a call because I told him my phone was locked up and nobody knows where I am. And then Kaiser is waiting for me on articles and so on, right? And then when I made the call, he gave me the phone to talk and I spoke with her. And then a couple of minutes after, I think the gentleman's phone rang and some Miss Joseph called, right? She didn't talk to me, but the gentleman asked me if I know Miss Joseph. And I could recall at the time. And he said that the person said to conduct myself. And I didn't understand what that was. But a couple minutes after, I reflected the only Miss Joseph I don't know is Pauline Joseph, which is Mr. Best's secretary because I once worked for him as his public relations manager. That is, I just typed in there because I don't know if no other Miss Joseph.
Do you have any complaint at this time? Do you have any complaint against any of the police at this time? Police may treat you in any way or anything. You have any complaint against any police or any mistreatment or anything? Or any other complaints?
Actually,
Do you mind telling me where do you live?
I live at Block 42 under my phone, East Coast of Bar.
Whom you live at?
Another one?
You live at by yourself.
Yes, sir.
And how long have you been living at this address?
That's like over a year, maybe like a year, 4 months today, maybe a few weeks.
Do you have any children?
Yes, sir.
How many?
5.
5.
Yes.
How many girls? How many boys?
3 girls, 2 boys.
Girls, 2 boys.
Yeah.
What kind of work he does?
I'm a freelance journalist with Fashion News, also with Guyana Times. My present permanent occupation is the manager of Diamond Optical Games, 34 law.
Can you mind telling me what level of education you would have received?
Graduated university with diploma occupation health and safety. I also have a 5 CFC general proficiency at grade 2. I am so all the O-level first aid certificate.
Okay. Just take your time, right?
Yeah.
I just want you to relate everything what have transpired in relation to the story between the 29th of August leading up to the 23rd of September, leading straight to your arrest, right?
Yes, sir.
Just take your time, everything is important, and just
Alright. So when Mr. Gates called me, like I told you, I don't remember the exact date that he called me. I was home in under my pony, and he said to me that he needed to see me, but I was several times with him since last year. Was the fact that he owes me, I think 1.2 something million in salary, which he never paid because he said the government took away his operational license to import. So like every other employee, I left angry as ever. So he would call you down and make promises to pay and pay, which never happened. So you can imagine the frustration. I went anyway, and he said I went to his home in Lucas Place, and he said that Mr. DM suit is trying to rob him, and he said that while he was in jail, and he was jailed by Senasi, which is a past director of his company, that Mr. DM sold handed over $30 million to a guy called Roy, which every employee of Darwin was a close confidant of Darwin. And he said he owed Mr. Afras only $3 million. And so the $3 million, he borrowed $3 million from Mr. Afras, and he would have pawned, I think, his Range Rover, a vehicle that he has. But he always said, when he tried to get back the $30 million, Mr. Afras held on to this, the Range Rover doesn't want to give it back to him. He said that he has incriminating information about Mr. Afras, and he wanted to do an article about Mr. Afras. He told me to call Mr. Afras to ask if he have anything to say about allegations of him fraudulently accessing vehicles to Guyana without the regular stipulated taxes and everything. To be honest with you, I don't know if this should be a part of the interview. I did not do it because I'm like way angry with him. And I swear that I call Mr. Afras. So Mr. Afras, my name is Alex Wayne. I'm an ex-employee of Darwin, and he's trying to frame you, and this is how he's trying to frame you. Mr. Afras said to me that he has no information that Darwin is lying. And that was the end of our conversation. He however asked me if the story is going to be published. I said, I don't publish things here. So for Darwin, Darwin's articles are published by Gary Eliezer, who works with him on a casual basis. I know that's the guy you guys arrested this afternoon. By the next morning, the article was on the GNNL site or whatever it was. I did not know that this GNNL site is a site that is owned or maybe created, it's like politically laced by some Mr. Burke, who I'm told is a close friend of Mr. Best. Gary, however, has all the password, and he's the main writer, which he would have confided in you guys, and which he said to Mr. Mohammed today. He provided a password for the website. He also, the meeting today was because Mr. Afras was asking me from time to time, to see how best I can get it done. So I was at this office, I think last week, Wednesday, and I pretended I called from Mr. Afra's phone to Gary, and pretended that I wanted to see an article on the website that I don't know how to get on. And Gary told me how I can get on. So I said, man, if you want to write something on the website how you could get on, that's when he, not knowing that Mr. Afras was there, he provided the password to check us to and show you. Mr. Afras told me not to go. It was Mr. Afras who offered. He asked me what I wanted to make all of this go away. The bad publicity, because he said it was causing business problems with his family because of the BM name up there. We didn't arrive at an amount or something. He said that he would give me $50,000 if I can get it off of the site. Right? He didn't give me that money. He gave me $5,000 to go. And this was when I met him at his residence somewhere in Abbey Acres. He paid the taxi, he sent for the taxi and everything. When I left and I came back, I told him that I found out that this website is owned by Burke and his Darwin friend, and the person who's writing is Gary. So after we finished calling Gary and everything, he has been trying since then for me to get Gary to come to meet him for a meeting, which were successful today. He spoke to Gary back and forth. They were speaking since the day before yesterday, back and forth. They made the arrangements. The arrangements was made for a taxi which Mr. Afras called, one of his taxi guys that he would normally call to drop me home and drop me to town or wherever after our meetings. And the taxi dropped us here. Gary went, they talked, the two of them were in conversation, really not me. And he had told Gary that he wanted everything to disappear as bad publicity, and Gary assured him that he's going to go on the website and delete everything and nothing is going to go back there again. He also assured him that he will do a backup article, to like erase the damage. In other words, he's going to do an article to defame Darwin, and I think he could because he has gritty information on Darwin, which I'm not here. I know that Gary. And so I was there when he gave Gary $50,000. Gary collected the money and counted it, and then before I left, I said, man, yes, now give me my passage. He said, oh yeah, man, and he gave me the $5,000. Gary would have borrowed $10,000 for me to look after his laptop 3 weeks ago. When he got downstairs, before we reached outside, because he stumbled on the step because he was intoxicated, he said, if said, please, some money. Take out the $10,000 he gave to me. I put it in my pocket. This is $10,000. I did not collect the money from Afras. I did not have the money dealings with Afras. He wanted Gary, and I delivered Gary. You guys arrested me. I came here, and like I said, I'm cooperating all the time. I'm just a bit amazed and shocked that the allegation about $30 million is crazy. Let him provide proof. I never tell him no code. He was the person saying, look, I'll pay you this amount and I'll give you. We were like, I thought this was more like a friend discussion because I assured him I was on his side because I think I wanted to get back at Durham for not paying me. So I was willing to go that extent to assist him because I don't know if it's true, but it was very convincing in showing me that he really doesn't have any money for Darwin. It's Darwin trying to extract. Darwin would have told me also that he signed some arrangement via paper with Mr. Afras in duress, that is, if you're being forced for it to go away and whatever, saying that he did receive the money, which meant if you do that, you don't have a case. You already signed towards saying that you okay for your guy to collect the money. So if that is true, I was feeling that he was trying to extract money from Mr. Arthur, and that's why I was helping him. I don't know what went wrong. I've never taken any money from him. I don't know what went wrong today. If he didn't believe Gary, I don't know if Gary was faking not to give the get on the site and delete deal. I was the person insisting that Gary, if you make an arrangement with this man, you want to save him from the embarrassment and the shame. He's a renowned businessman. Delete the deal now. Gary was saying he could remember the password, so I said, there's a forgot password feature. If you click it, it would send a code directly either to your email or your phone. And he clicked on it. I think his wife was helping too. She clicked on it, which means the code would be forward to Gary, emailing Gary. I don't know if he was failing, but he was giving a lot of difficulties to actually get in to the email and telling the man that when you go home, you're going to do it and all of these kind of things. I think that got Mr. Mohammed man. I even told Mr. Mohammed, do you want me? I offered my laptop, I offered for them to charge it up, and to do it, but it wasn't charging up fast enough when Mr. Mohammed said he got stuff to do. I said, do you want me to go to Gary's house, charge it up and stay there and see that it's deleted, you have the password and everything, you can check the site to delete it. Any arrangement was between Mr. Mohammed and Mr. Gary. I have no nothing but, why not take up, how much million is that? 90 million for $30 million for Darwin. How stupid would he pay me $90 million to prevent him from paying $30 million to Darwin? Come on. I mean, I'm intelligent and smart enough to not be making allegations. Let it be logical and let it be sensible. Everything I'm telling you is the truth. Like I told you, I have nothing to lose. I serve a living God. I'm not a perfect Christian. I hate that I reach out to him. Even tell me I trust issues, bad things happen with him and other people. I would go in, I would show them I'm taking off my phone, I'm now recording, I'm closing off my laptop, I'm leaving my bag outside, and all these things I'm doing. I can show you, he should have messages on his phone where I was telling him I want no part to do with it because it seems to me like you get trust issues and I'm exposing myself because if Darwin finds this out, he's going to come after me and I know he would. So I'm like really perplexed as to why I'm here. I didn't take any money from him. He gave it to Darwin and I don't think why those things are lettered at me. At no time let him show me the proof which said that we had an arrangement or any formal compensation of $90 million to prevent him paying. Come on, $30 million? You are intelligent officers. This is what, I don't know what went wrong. Everything was going smooth until Gary started to, now I am not God to judge. He didn't want to give the password to Mr. Alfred said, okay, he don't want to give it. And the man was called the policeman. Mr. Colleen from this police station has been trying to get me to come here. The only reason that I have not been coming, I said, there's no case against me, not reporting me as an ex-police from Central Immigration and Passport Office. I know my rights, you can summon me here, and there's no report from here, there's not a case against me. And I was suspecting too because Darwin is so, I was thinking it's Darwin doing something in here against me. And that is the only reason why I didn't come. When Mr. Colleen or he called me, it was late last week coming on to weekend, I agreed to meet him 1:30 the following day. I told him to call me, give me a reminder, which you are sending every day. That was me.
So basically, let me stop this. Basically, that's all he said about Rickford Burke. He heard Rickford Burke own a website. That's all he said. Now, it is very dangerous. First of all, this guy here, he just talking. You know, not we say. But we're not here to assess that. What the essence of this is that apparently they were writing some article, and journalists all the time call people whatever. I don't care about that. Two fundamental things. Bharrat Jagdeo and Anil Nanlal and the Guyana police force have been putting out statements that these men implicate me in a plot to extort money from BM and that they have evidence. I played last week one tape. I'll play another tape on Thursday or tomorrow with the other guy. But as you can hear, this gentleman doesn't know me. He said one Rickford Burke that own a website. And even if I own a website, in America, we have freedom of speech, freedom to publish whatever. I don't own a website. But what gives the Guyana police force the basis to try to tarnish me, that I try to extort money, is because Bharrat Jagdeo called them and told them to do that. And that's a crime. That's a crime. They said Muhammad told them the iCali and threatened me. You all heard one of the conversation I had with one of the Muhammad. He called me. I was begging me. Oh, the company reputation. Oh, yeah, we do all these things, but help me now. Then the brother again called me with James Bond and asked me to ask Mr. Best and his lawyers and his American partners not to take action against them because they got the letter from the lawyer, which I read. And the lawyer tell them plain, there's no prospect of your East Indian friend, the DPP, dropping the charges against you because you belong to some East Indian supremacy movement. It's not going to happen if we charge you in America. And James Bond was on the phone with me and the lawyers for Mr. Best when they said they have informed their representatives in America, political representatives, and me like a stupid man tell them, oh, give them a chance now. Don't do they said they're gonna pay the thing. And James Bond sat with BM Suit and worked out a draft agreement about how this money should be paid back to Darwin Best. James Bond and Mr. Darwin Best's lawyer worked out an arrangement about how this $170 million should be paid back. James Bond. So how come they're charging James Bond with some extortion? How come James Bond is silent? Right, James is silent. I don't know if you're scared of them or the promises, I don't know. But James is silent. And James should speak out. And then this BM Salt man give the police a statement, say, I tell you, I gonna tell US politicians. So freaking what if I tell him that? This man asked me. And then Best and his attorneys were upset with me because I asked them to stop their action. And up to now, they can't get the money. They were pissed with me that I bought that nonsense and asked them not to file criminal charges and let these guys negotiate this thing with James Bond and them. But the bottom line here is that Bharrat Jagdeo and Anil Nandlal allegedly got involved with the crime chief and the police commissioner and cook up this story and came up with these charges. And they think that they can get away with it. And this is what they want to send to the US government. And then they're putting out this narrative. Burke is a fugitive. Burke committed a crime. And then I am told, I was on a conference call this afternoon with my colleagues from CGID. And I heard them discussing that the police lied to the court. I heard them, that my colleagues from CGID on a conference call, I was on and off of the call. I didn't stay on the call, but I'll get the gist of it tomorrow. That the police lied to some court and told the court that I was in Guyana and committed a crime in Guyana. Lied to the court. This is the extent. The Bharrat Jagdeo is going, putting the police to lie to the court, then putting the police on a plane to come to my house. If something had happened to that police officer, not one single allegation against me. None. You go through all of the interviews. None. The other interview, one of the other reporters says he assumed that the JNN that carried the story, he assumed is mine because my stuff is published on it. And then he said sometimes somebody spoke to him on social media saying it's me. And even the police guy was shocked. He's like, how you know you talking to Mr. Burke? He's like, I assume. I mean, and don't get mixed up with anything. Even if I were to publish that BM Soot defrauded Darwin Best, that's a fact. That's not a crime. And I did put it on my personal Facebook page that they were defrauding not only Best, several people, thousands of people. Over 2,500 people came on my page and complained. But they ain't talking nothing about my page, they're talking about GNN. This is the bottom line. The East Indians in the PPP think that they are so supreme to Black people that they can do whatever they want and they'll be protected by the police and the government. And you must not say anything about them. Same thing by Jagdeo. He and Kwame McCoy and Anil Nanlal, everybody say all sorts of nasty things about all the Black leaders in the country. And you must not respond. If you respond, it's a crime. Who the hell these racists think they are? Who the hell these racists think they are? That they can rob a Black man, an Afro-Guyanese, $170 million, and he mustn't talk about it. He mustn't ask for help to get his money. He doesn't deserve it because he's a Black man. And they think that they're the new colonialists and the new slave drivers in the country. There should be national outrage about this nonsense that they're doing here. And then they want to get the United States government involved in this nonsense. They're writing the US government. Oh, we frame Rickford Burke, please send them to us. They have detailed plans how when the US government send me for fifth trial, they're gonna kidnap me at the airport and carry me to the Soesdijk Highway and execute me. I kid you not. I hope law enforcement here wouldn't be upset with me for saying that. Let me stop talking. But the Guyanese people must know what's going on here. The PPP is obsessed with me because one, I have a big mouth, a big and tall, and I can reach the mountain top. And I can shout with my big mouth about their racism, their corruption, their nastiness, their killing, their extrajudicial killings, their murder for hire schemes. They must murder Black people and nobody must talk about it. Nobody must advocate for justice because they think that they're superior. Bharrat Jagdeo and Anil Nanlal, they think that they're superior. And then they have Clifford Hicken guarding the post of the Guyana police force so that they're not held accountable. And then they want to use their ethnic media to slander people. Rickford Burke, the wanted fugitive. You would swear I was in Guyana, commit a crime and run away. That's how evil Bharrat Jagdeo is. He should receive the scorn and contempt of every Black person in Guyana. They espouse Black people. And we must not tolerate it anymore. The contempt they have for us, you could feel it. It's in the air. You could feel it. You could feel it. Their contempt for Black people. And every Thursday, Bharrat Jagdeo posts like if he's at the Politburo in Russia and pronounced that Burke is a criminal. That's what Hitler did. His political enemies are criminals. BM Sort is not a criminal. BM Sort is not a criminal. Burke, the black guy that's advocating for all them poor people that BM Sort robbed and defrauded, is the criminal. Because East Indian Bharrat Jagdeo, the racist supremacist of the PPP, says so. And then he has the house slaves like Clifford Hicken executing. I saw somebody said, Rickford, you must not disclose your source. I didn't disclose no source, but the people in the Guyana police force want me to say it. The police officers want me to say it. They want me to say that they don't condone what the Guyana police force leadership is doing, and they sent me the information. I'm not calling anybody's name, but they want to make it known. They asked me to say it. Police officers, brave police officers, signed affidavit, which they sent to the authorities in this country about the conspiracy at CID. They attested to hearing senior officers say and repeat certain things. And they have alerted law enforcement in this country. Just imagine the poor black people, poor East Indians, poor Amerindians that they frame every day, that don't have the access to police officers who can send this information to prove that these guys are lying. Just imagine what happens to the poor mother and the poor sister and the poor brother and aunts and uncles and cousins and relatives and friends of that poor black young man that they frame and they execute and they kill. And these people have nowhere to go because Bharrat Jagdeo told the police force to kill that black boy. And they do it. And we as a country, or we as a nation, sit back and accept it. We accept that Bharrat Jagdeo formed their squads and murdered over 1,400 people. We accept it. They killed Kevin Andrews and lied and said that he had a gun when they shot him in the back running. And we accept it. They went into the home. They went into the home of Boston. Or in Boston, in Essequibo Coast, because they were directed by the PPP, politicians in the PPP to go kill him because his business was flourishing and undermining other East Indian businesses in Essequibo. That's the fact. They went into his home, the police acting like mercenaries and death squads, and murdered him. Shot him in his sleep. Shot him in his sleep. And the Guyana police force issues a statement saying he was shot in a confrontation with police. And when the truth came out, he was shot dead in his sleep. And we accept it as a nation. Then the poor young boy, 24-year-old Quinlan Bacchus in Golden Grove, he had a confrontation with one police officer, possibly over a girl. And that one guy used other police officers. And he masterminded a plot to go and kill that young man. Got one of his people to set him up to go on the line wherever in Haslington. And he hid in the trunk of a police car and came out of that car and gunned that boy down to death. And the Guyana police force leadership put out a statement that he was shot during an operation where he was about to sell guns to the police. Guns to the police. And we accept it. And his friends from Golden Grove that protested, they caught the friends and locked them up and charged them with public terrorism. How dare you black people protest against us East Indians? We will charge you with terrorism. And we accept it. And then the year before that, to demonstrate PPP East Indian triumphalism in Berbice, they slaughtered the two Henry boys. Slaughtered them. Cut off one of them head, bust their back open, chop them up. One had 42. Sorry, I don't think they cut off the head. I think the back was severed. But they cut open X into their heads. PPP supporters, known to the government, known to the police, and the police act like if they don't know nothing, they can't find no evidence, hold two boys and say it's them, and then the court guy lose them, no evidence. And the killers harass the family, go shoot up at their house, police, nothing, because the government instructed them not to do it. The life of these two young teenagers, the Henry boys, Isaiah and Joa Henry, have no value to the East Indian cabal in the PPP that despises and hates black people. And you know what? As a nation, we accepted it. They sent police officers to gun down the protesters who were calling for justice. Bharrat Jagdeo did that. Clifford Hicken did that. Just like they gunned down the protesters in Linden and killed 3 of them. All they were doing is fighting and protesting against astronomical hike in electricity rates in Linden. And they shot those black people and killed them. You know what? The nation accepted it. The nation accepted it. And one of the Henry boys' brother, who was front and center of the protests, they caught him and charged him with murder. Just like they framed the story up here and said Burke committed extortion. Framed that boy and said he committed murder. Wiped him off to jail. That thing killed his mother 1 year and then killed the other mother. They died in grief. Those 2 mothers died. Matter of fact, the police arrested one, beat her up. My God, my God, my God. And we as a nation, we accepted it. Well, you know what? I'm not accepting it. I'm not accepting it. And so I've been speaking out. So now they say, oh, you want to act? We're going to frame you. They want to stay in Guyana and frame me all the way in America because I'm speaking out. And they think this time I will accept it. Hell no. Hell no. Hey, boy, they're into the fight of their life. And it didn't start yet. Bharrat Jagdeo sits on his pedestal every Thursday and he attacks every black leader in Guyana. And the press says nothing. They don't ask him any questions. He thinks that he's an emperor. He thinks that he's King Kong. He thinks that he's the leader of the death squad, that he could just order people killed, get people, death squads to kill people, and the police back him up. And we accept it. We as a nation accept it. He's attacked Cathy Hughes. She's a lowlife because she called him out for trying to want to give away part of Guyana, possibly for a bribe. She's a lowlife. A few people objected, including myself, but by and large, the country accepted. He hasn't paid the consequence. He has refused to apologize. He's attacked Gary Best, Royce Ford, Darren Wade, every black person that speaks up, and then he attacks the press. How dare you give Rickford Burke space in your publication to respond to me? He thinks he's a bootleg Hitler. And not a man in the press objected to that. We have descended into a banana republic. And then he says he will not accept anybody in the diaspora speaking to the people, clouding their judgment. He's going to send the Guyana police force. In the meantime, he has critics, Kwame McCoy, all these people tearing down black people, tearing down the opposition. But in a banana republic, the people that they're targeting, Afro-Guyanese, opposition supporters, East Indian and Amerindian people who don't support them, have no right of response. And then they come out and they utter empty words, I guess, for the consumption of the diplomatic community and the international community. Oh, we love free speech. Everybody can speak. They have arrested every black talk show host in Guyana. Now they're trying with me here in America. Triggering an FBI investigation. Sending people to my home with guns. Then lying, there's no police investigation. This is crazy. This is Goebbels. This is Trump. Oh, there's no police investigation. Rickford Burke made no report. This matter was all legal. And then you have no other person than the Attorney General saying, oh yeah, it's all legal. We can go into any country and serve. We can send the police. There's no law stopping it. And he went on to say, if the courts tell us we can't do that, we will amend the law to empower ourselves to do it. And to hell with the laws of any other country. We will empower ourselves to go take on those black people that condemn us all across the world. As if he got say with what U.S. law provides. He said he gonna go to court to empower the PPP to send police officers to the home of Afro-Guyanese citizens abroad that condemn their racism, regardless of what those other countries' laws say, regardless of what international law is, regardless of what the United Nations Charter says. Then by the extraterritorial powers, man, we have oil money, we do what the Russians do. We send police officers to open a police station, conduct espionage. We don't care what nobody says. I want to go to somebody's house who invoke their stand your ground right. Go to somebody's house so that they could invoke their stand your ground rights. But we, as a country, have accepted what they do. Black people in Guyana accepted opposition, lackluster. They want to establish a party state. They want to treat black people like the Palestinians. They think they could run us out into the sea, and we accept it. Them alone must have oil blocks. We spoke and they run and get 2 black people like blocks. 2 of them are not even Guyanese. The other one, let's see if it come off the block, because they're not empowered to finance this project. Meanwhile, I can safely say that they're laundering money, they're transferring every penny of the procurement budget to themselves and their families. Every penny. We as a country, we're accepting it. Professor Clive Thomas did a study that shows that when Bharrat Jagdeo was in power, when the PP was in power from 1992 to 2015, they stole over $5 billion US. And we as a country accepted it. East Indian, PPP East Indian superiority. How dare you speak? This is our money. You know, we're East Indians. We're from the PPP. And you East Indians and the PNC and the Amerindians, none for you either. You have to support us. And you black people who support us, we'll send you to clean the trenches. Because this is East Indian supremacy, PPP East Indian cabal supremacy. Well, you can't frame me, buddy. You can try. You can try. I wouldn't accept it. I wouldn't accept it. And there will be consequences. There must be consequences for police officer Sarabo that they used to come here to commit espionage, to spy on Guyanese. A dirty, nasty cop that's in the pocket of the Mohammeds. A nasty, dirty cop, and I don't see enough Guyanese condemning him. He must not be able to go anywhere in Guyana without being condemned for being used against his own people. I heard that he framed a doctor who's now in remand. I heard that he was involved in a shooting of innocent people on the seawall. I heard that he collects bribes. I read it. It's alleged, all alleged. And he is allowing himself to be used by Bharrat Jagdeo to come to New York to commit espionage against the United States, to perform the duties of a foreign agent against the United States law, to trespass, to brandish and menace, brandish guns and menace. And my neighbors have said to police that the way they were so aggressive, and we saw it in the video, the white guy, Wasserman, he's like, oh, you don't want to take it out, drop it right here. You've been there, oh, you're right. I don't know how much money they paid him, but he's invested in this shit. And the witnesses have said that the way they operated, if I was alone, they would have tried to shoot me and say that I attacked them. I mean, the witnesses told law enforcement that. This is a wake-up call. Guyana is on a slide, a dangerous slide to autocracy and to apartheid rule. The PPP government is an ethnocracy that believes all of Guyana's resources must be used for only East Indians, and we must be treated like black slaves or Palestinians. And they've changed their strategy from when Bharrat Jagdeo was in power. They're no longer using East Indians to perpetuate their racism against us. They're using black people. They're using the black police commissioner. And then they will say to the international committee, oh, the police commissioner is black. There is no racism. Oh, the permanent secretary of the Ministry of Works is black. And, there's no racism. Oh, the foreign minister's black. There's no racism. They're using and paying black people to perpetuate their racism. And as for me, they think I'm too powerful in America. He is not East Indian. Why does he know the senators? Why does he know people in the White House? Why does he go and be with all these important? He is not East Indian. As far as our East Indian policy and supremacy guidelines says, you have to be East Indians to know powerful people. So we got to take him out. That's what is driving Bharrat Jagdeo crazy. Dr. Henry Jeffrey wrote it, and he was a member of the PP. He understands their culture. And he says, Rickford Burke's access to powerful people in the United States is driving Bharrat Jagdeo crazy, and he's out to discredit him. Go read it. He wrote an article in the Kaitra News. Go read it. Like I said, I'm not going to accept it. I'm not going to accept it. Guyana is getting worse. Our democracy is on a slide. People are beginning to recognize that. People are beginning to think in a revolutionary manner. You could see it. People want a political resolution to our slide away from democracy. And the PPP's response to it is autocracy. Saddam Hussein, Vladimir Putin, Kim Jong-un. Guyanese are docile. We will do anything and control them. We are the new colonialists. Bharrat Jagdeo think he's the new colonial master on a plantation. Black people are slaves, and that we must subject ourselves to his subjugation. How dare you speak out? We will send police after you. He thinks he's the new slave master. You're going to see him riding horses soon and trying to whip black people. I hope they whip him back. He's going to come Thursday and cuss out. Burke is a criminal. He's a criminal. He's a criminal. He extorts money. He's a criminal. And when he does, just laugh at him like a fool. He's a one-man circus. He's a one-man circus of only monkeys, parroting around every Thursday. And then he doesn't want people to respond. I've said enough. You've seen the evidence. We will continue to expose them. And I want to ask the people of the members of the Guyana Police Force, keep sending us information, please. We'll expose them. And we fight for justice. And we continue to advocate. And we continue to speak out. Because Guyana does not belong to the racist cabal in the PPP. And we must show them it. That we've reached a point now where we will not accept their racism, their bullyism, their discrimination, their xenophobia, their hate speech, their tearing down of black people. We will not accept it. And we will not accept them using the Guyana Police Force to lie and frame people and create evidence and make up evidence and file bogus charges against people. We'll fight back. We will fight back. And let me tell you something. They better pray to God that they will stay in power, because when they get out of power, we must deal with them condignly. Use the same tactics. If they want to make a phone call to their family, they must go all the way to the CCJ. Forget a one phone call. No rights. Just like how they feel black people have no rights. No rights. They must have no rights. They must run from Guyana. Like Andonal said, when we go in power, some young guy run. They must live in exile. We must treat them the exact same way if they live, because God has a very, very strange way of dealing with people. Let's hope that they all stay very well and in good health. I see Bharrat Jagdeo every day looking like an alien, like, I don't know. let's hope that one day, justice will flow. Justice will flow on these despots like a mighty river. Like a mighty river. Good night, everybody. Thanks for listening.